Fascinating, isn't it, Neil, to see how O'Sullivan responds to a situation he's not all that familiar with here at the Crucible down the years, having to come from...
Really up for the fight here, whether he wins or loses, whether he ends up getting beaten here from 6-2 down. You know, he's in a... It is a double session. I must admit, I've played in a few of those. I don't like them. You've got some players... I think anyone who likes snooker, whether you're an O'Sullivan fan or a Williams fan, you're going to enjoy.
And that player already through, of course, is Mark Selby, the 3-times world champion, who seems to have...
Well, that red was available. You could see it sticking out at the bottom of the bunch.
He does need to win this session. The minimum for him would be to tie the session, but he'd still be a long way behind. So he might have to rein things in a bit.
Just a question of, does he have the competitive spirit?
One.
Maybe green.
So he's never going to get a better chance, you would think, after his first session.
Felt they didn't want to give O'Sullivan an early leave. He's a wily old player, is Mark Williams, and he's kind of surprised a few people.
All 4 of their previous meetings here have come over this best of 25 frame distance. The closest was 2006, when there was a 13-10 in there, but O'Sullivan, by and large, has very much held sway in this rivalry. And he also benefited from a huge fluked frame ball pink, the frame before the final one of the session. Well, he took his time over that, but it's worked out.
So 3 single reds knocked in.
Mark Williams won.
Missed a relatively easy ball at the start of the 4th frame. And after that, never really recovered. Missed 1 or 2 here and there, and Williams just played very well. Oh, what a pot.
And that was an even better shot, wasn't it, than the O'Sullivan safety? But again, colour here. It's a very
Mark
good
Williams
red, though.
won.
How did he pick that red out of the middle of the... This cue ball is absolutely racing around the table here.
One. Mark Williams won.
Of course, O'Sullivan hasn't been in the last 4 since he won his 5th title back in 2013, and that's gone horribly wrong. And what a chance this now is for Williams.
One.
It's not simple from where he is. Needs a good little nudge.
No.
Get started.
One.
This is, but when the chips are down, can he still battle?
Skills of his were very much in evidence in the first round, of course, a record-breaking distance, but O'Sullivan showed his mettle in the deciding session. He's having to come from quite a long way behind against one of the greats.
Missed a couple of these to the left jaw. That's in, though. Started soon.
25.
He hasn't made a break of significance. For the semi-finals.
33.
But the queuing is just not comfortable, is it? It's difficult now. Oh, that's delightful.
39.
That is delightful. And it's not even with his... And he just breezed it in.
He was, as they say, in the zone as he was introduced,
47.
while the others were having a laugh and a joke.
There's no getting away from it.
Oh, but he's missed that one by quite a way, so he's not quite done yet.
54.
I think he's a strong favourite in the frame, but you're right, he's not over the line.
A respot. You'd need a couple of blacks, of course, with these remaining reds.
Being safe, of course. I think he got a double kiss there.
8.
When he had frame ball red, which he would have expected to get. Williams releasing the pink.
I think that's exactly what he played. It was a good shot. I think the key is not to lose frames that you're in a position to win. And this is one of those.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It would be a very bad frame. He has all sorts of ways of winning frames. We know he can make the big breaks, of course, but he doesn't care if it gets scrappy. He's got the patience of Job. Rather less bothered than the man at the table right now, who prefers to get it done in clinical one-visit fashion if he can. And this may yet become awkward now for O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan misses. It's going back on in this frame.
Foul and a miss.
Hit it hard. Well, this is hidden hope. That's not bad. He'll be more than happy with that outcome, I think.
Odds on to lose. What a blow that would be to O'Sullivan's hopes of...
Which I don't think he was doing. A few people have picked up on that. He said he'd never use it.
Goodness me, he's missed the red.
And a miss.
With only 27 left if he would have popped the red. But this frame has become a lot more uncomfortable for O'Sullivan.
For Williams, I think, from here, I have to be honest. As great as he is, he's a real shot maker, but the yellow is difficult. The black will be difficult at the end if it gets that far.
Nine.
That red, left-handed, on 43 in front.
12. 16.
Now, if he's got a shot here... No, he's not played it.
21.
High drama then at the end of this all-important first frame.
He's playing the double, leaving himself the double.
27.
The difference between a 5-frame gap and 3. And he's missed it.
Mark Williams, 27.
No double is an easy shot.
This long black for Williams for a 5-frame gap. And never in doubt, that is a huge setback to Ronnie O'Sullivan's hopes of clawing back this deficit. Well, that was a frame that Ronnie O'Sullivan looked absolutely nailed on to win. And he's just cannoned straight into the blue, full ball off the break, and I'm sure...
One.
Oh, he opted for that shot, and that's brilliant.
9.
Yeah, I mean, all these players were tested again for COVID.
17.
Looking to rid himself of the horrible frame to lose.
25. 33.
It's just a question of getting onto his colour right here. If he misses it, he leaves a chance back. He hasn't missed it. That's a great shot. Centre of the pocket.
48.
Response from O'Sullivan to the manner in which he lost that first
56.
frame in the previous one, which cost him so dearly. To be careful. Oh, he's miscued there. It sounded horrible.
Well, he miscued yesterday with this new chalk.
Very similar scenario to the previous frame here. Very close to clinching it. That's a good pot.
64.
Actually went in. So this could have been 6-4.
Way. But we know that he's been making the right sort of noises with him to Sheffield to keep him
73.
mentally on an even keel, and so far that's paid off. A sticky session yesterday when he was just outplayed by Williams. Evidence it hasn't.
76. $84.
Which were missable. The cut back black into the bunch of reds for a start. Obviously things could have gone wrong with the miscue, but
it's all about what the arrangement that was made. These rules and regulations, people might think they're a bit odd, but it was the qualifiers and the bubble. So whether they all seem a bit strange or not, we've got to adhere to them. I guess that's the answer, isn't it? If you're wondering why they're so particular over these rests. It's 1,055 now. Amazing.
105 in the frame.
He went on to make the century to stay in contention. First target for O'Sullivan is to win this session.
I guess. A lot of pressure on this shot, though.
Wow, how has he found the gap there, having missed the red by so far? He's gone in off, but maybe would prefer to be there than...
Well, just loosening it up. It's a wonderful chance.
9.
Got to play a recovery now. Well, he has
17.
recovered it.
$25.
Take your pick here. Reds to the middle.
30. 36.
Plenty of them go. Bottom one goes, which opens up the one above it. It's a barometer
42.
down the side of the high value colours.
$50. O'Sullivan's stomach for the fight on the resumption in the way he did.
57.
And he's responding. One more red after this to close to within 3.
This has got to go in. This is not easy. Well
65.
played. Come with a few scares along the way. You know, he's run out of position.
Long red and missing it by a margin. So much so that possibly a second straight century.
$74 in the frame.
Frame before the first interval of the afternoon. And another ordinary break-off from O'Sullivan. He hit.
Particularly an advantage to break it off. Now, this is where Williams has to.
1.
And that's the thing, having built that 4-frame cushion.
That's why you get people saying, oh, these pockets are very big. I think it...
Yeah, coming into today, although we'd had 63 centuries in total, only 2 of them.
6.
Behind him here. To remind
14.
Williams of what a prolific break.
The other thing Williams doesn't need reminding of is the very lopsided nature of this rivalry. Come into play at some point if O'Sullivan continues this revival.
20.
Well,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 27.
That's the way it's going anyway in the frame before the mid-session break, so could be some high drama there over on Eurosport 1.
and you've got to go all the way to the line. You can't be in front 10-6 and win. It's not quite enough. That was a fluke. Tickle in behind the brown. So Ronnie's been a bit unlucky in this frame. He went into the bunch, I thought. Oh,
wow.
Me.
An absolute gimme. But it's gone in, and that could be...
Yes, it's actually a very good chance now.
8.
When it's all in smack in the middle of the table. There was no red he could just lay the cue ball up against. Attempt to put balls on cushions. May have fluked one. Because of all the thinking in the world, I don't think you could have.
Going into the interval for Williams, who has arguably been outplayed so far, was a bit lucky to win. So if he emerges on the other side of the mid-session.
23.
I think he's going to...
From 10-6 to 11-9.
30.
Just screwing behind the reds into the same pocket. To the... Yeah.
$36.
Both reds with colours. He's going to require. And it was absolutely like this. I think it was virtually the same shot. He hit the, as I say. And that's absolutely fine. So he's done well. Williams look sharp here. Segments and do what you can in those short little bursts.
57.
Outscored him.
Yes, so Sullivan had to make 57. All the runs. We could be in for a tremendous finish tonight. If Williams can either draw it or win it himself, it's going to be very, very difficult.
You know, you've got to set targets which are achievable.
1.
I mean, 4 out of 4 is also achievable, but if you lose 1, you're disappointed. So it's a good shot, beautiful shot around the angles.
Was a bit fortunate at the back end of that, or rather the top end of that 4th frame before the interval. He, with what he perceived to be, but he has looked very determined this afternoon, O'Sullivan. Make the most of it while you can.
That's okay. Connection with a bunch of reds.
80.
Of his career. Triple Crown events, the Masters and the UK, both of which
26.
he's won a record. I think whatever happens for the remainder of this match, and O'Sullivan very nearly missed that red.
He's going to just run through on the reds into the opposite corner. And he's playing the other red here. Interesting shot selection. I don't know why he thought to play that red. What was wrong with the straight one?
41.
Sometimes I just think he's overcomplicating matters. Keep it simple. Anyway, it's not cost him anything, except to try and cut this red in. It's difficult. This is a really difficult shot. Amazing, isn't it? He can pop that shot, which is crept into his game, which never really was there.
6.
Bit of a mystery. But last season, he won 5 big tournaments. It's just here that he's underperformed by his very high standards.
Of an awkward pot. Just pumped it in though, as if it wasn't there. Now the bottom red goes. Keep things simple again.
19.
I know that the game, but he's got this tendency right now to take on shots that are. He started the mini session
27.
nicely.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 27.
Happened at a crucial moment in the Kyron Wilson-Martin Gould match.
Nine. $17.
From the position he was in, well, that would be the last straw, I think.
Keep one behind the blacks a shot here.
Mark
Not
Williams,
achieved it.
24.
Weak, that shot. Weak in pace. Shouldn't leave a free ball playing it this way. He's hit it anyway. Great shot. Great shot. Yes, it's all right. He can hit the edge of this. I think in this situation, Mark Williams is the breathing space before the next frame starts as well. He knows the importance, I think, of what's to come in this session.
Free ball, which would change things.
Playing right round to the left side of the pink here, swerving it. Behind the bolt colours. So a moment of
that ends the frame in his bid to win this mini session and get right back into this quarter-final. He's made a good start. That's 1 frame down. He'll be looking. That's a better break off from O'Sullivan. He's had a bit of trouble.
I think he's going to play a safety shot here instead. O'Sullivan, that's hardly surprising. Kind of player he is. A great shot though.
1.
He's gone back to the square chalk. I'm not giving it, not mentioning brand names, but you know what I'm saying. But I guess the miscue did for him. That was a dreadful shot.
Oh dear, he's almost missed the red altogether there. Look at where the cue balls ended up. O'Sullivan's general play, an easy red in the previous frame, wasn't punished for it.
9.
very big lead.
$70.
Well, I've got to get these reds open now, hasn't he? Well. Ronnie just...
Terrific. Oh, well, I'm sure he thought that was in. I did. Goodness me.
Quite controlled.
8.
The chance to score, which has always been there for him.
Very much so, yeah.
Just the occasional shot he's missing.
16.
For the first time since he trailed 4-2. Remember, he was 2-1 up, lost 5 on the bounce. Just on the resumption today, when he looked for all the world as though he was going to make it 6-3. Entirely convincing. Oh, is that another kick?
22.
Well, that was a kick, all right.
The thing about O'Sullivan is you'll very rarely see him have the cue ball cleaned, even when he gets a kick. A lot of players don't agree with, and we don't necessarily agree with either, but he's missed that one again.
O'Sullivan, 27.
This frame gets bigger and bigger now, with both players having had chances. Huge difference between 9-5 and 8-6.
Well, a lot of thought went into that, and it could not have ended up any worse.
It is a strange old game, isn't it? O'Sullivan set to profit here from a poor shot. What a big frame this is now in the context.
9.
Reds, whatever he takes.
16.
Because it's in the middle of the table after he pots his pink. Won't be quite enough. There he's
31.
not this time. This
39.
might be Williams could have won. He was in first. Ronnie had a bit of luck later in the frame, but ultimately it's O'Sullivan.
4 frames out of 5 now for O'Sullivan.
Taking it down to a couple of frames deficit, I think, would be a successful afternoon.
2 behind. The frame he was nailed on to win and somehow contrived not to. He's responded well since then, but he's won 4 of the last 5. And we still very much have a match on our hands here at the Crucible.
Trying to get a thin edge of this, I think. So now that replacement is likely.
Foul. And a miss.
No. Well, if O'Sullivan can win this frame, the last of this session, I should say.
Afternoon, but it doesn't appear that it's
7.
just relaxed between now and when they come back tonight. No, he's happy with that.
12.
The last time O'Sullivan got to the one-table situation.
So this frame, as you said earlier, does feel
19.
like a significant one. Ball's in the middle of the table. Well, look at that, how he's got the pick into plays.
And if this goes 13-12 this evening, it's not going to be a midnight finish, that's for sure. A quick anyway. O'Sullivan, as we know, is the quickest on the circuit. Williams isn't far behind.
31.
He's into this now, he's really into this session of snooker.
37.
That's a very good shot.
Attribute to have here at the Crucible, isn't it? Don't let your disappointments, your setbacks
But I think he's free rolling a little bit here and hoping that they all go in. Say that for him here. Top side of
44.
Also the top red goes. Wow, all of a sudden things are unfolding.
Well, scrap is the right word, isn't it? You cannot fault O'Sullivan's application. Seriously placed. Yes, there have been one or two errors, but there's been plenty of good stuff as well, and up for the challenge of trying to claw back this deficit against one of the world's best. One is that the Crucible curse is very much intact to move into the... And what a good little mini session this is proving to be for O'Sullivan. What a retrieving pot that is too. The goal would have been 3 out of 4 after the interval.
79.
And Williams' 4-frame lead.
87.
Very much odds on for his 3rd century of the match.
$94.
To keep hopes of that 6th world title alive. And it's good to see. O'Sullivan, if he did, he's going to have to work for it. He was 6-2 in front, Williams. The comeback is well and truly on. It's now 8-7.